Alright you guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going over a guide to what you need to buy to start making your baits at home. This is a little bit more in depth than what you need to really get started, like the most basic level, because I've been doing this for a little bit now, so I've kind of stocked up on some stuff. But I pulled out from all my colors what I think are some of the best glitters and pigments to buy to start with. I have a couple of molds here that I really enjoy using. And these ones are the Do It molds. We'll get a little bit more into that later in the video, so stay tuned to see everything you guys need to make baits at home. All right, let's start out simple. This is an obvious one. You're going to need plastic. I'd recommend getting a gallon to start, just because you can make a lot of baits. It's not super expensive, and you could start out with bait plastics, dead-on plastics, anything like that. They're all normally pretty good for starting out. Bait plastics is definitely a good one to start out with, as that's what I've started out with. I will be switching to dead-on plastics soon though, once I run out of this quarter gallon that I have left. But this is a great one to start out with. So buy a gallon of plastic to start. I went with a medium plastic solid. You can kind of do anything really you want. Nothing too big, but like Senkos and curly tail worms and grubs and jerk baits and craws, you can do all that with medium plastic. So we'll set that back there. Next obvious thing that you're gonna need is a knife to stir your plastic and a Pyrex cup. Please do not go and cheap out on a cup that's gonna shatter in the microwave, because that's gonna suck when you shatter and you lose all your plastic. So grab a knife, get a Pyrex cup. These are like $8 at a hardware store. Get a knife, you can get them for $1 at the dollar store, and then you can stir your plastic with that. And then I have another cup over here that I like to use, just because when you're making a lot of baits at one time, you definitely need more than one cup. But the next thing you're gonna need is a measuring spoon. I got a full set of them, but you can also just buy a 1/4 teaspoon. That's the one you're gonna probably use the most, unless you're making very high volume of plastic. Then you're gonna be wanting to scooping more at one time, so you don't have to use as many scoops. This is a good one to start out with. I like the metal one, just because it's a little bit higher quality. It's not gonna break when it's getting thrown around all over the place. Now let's get to molds. The obvious one is the Senko. Now here's a mistake I made. Nothing against Do It Molds Essential Series. They make great baits, they're consistent, they're cheap, but here's the thing. Once you buy a mold, you're never gonna have to replace it. So to start out, if you have the money and if you have the resources, buy the higher quality mold to start. Because now what I did is I spent whatever this cost, 50 to 100 bucks, well, probably like 50 to buy this. But now, since I want to upgrade, I have to spend another 150 to get a mold that I'll never have to throw away, and then I'll never use this mold again, which is still perfectly good. So please buy the higher quality molds if you have the resources to do so. Another mold that I think is really good is a grub mold. Something a little smaller profile with the curly tail worm. Help you get used to shooting something a little bit thinner, not just as easy as a stick bait would be. And then something to clamp those molds. These I literally just got from my dad's shop. They're just 3-inch adjustable clamps. They work super well with what I'm doing right now. You don't need to have fancy clamps to do this. These are not expensive at all. They're like $7 a piece at the hardware store. Then into another obvious thing, as you guys can kind of see back there, is a microwave. You will need a microwave to heat up your plastic. Then an injector to inject your plastic into the mold. This is the Do It Molds Essential Series 4-ounce injector that came with their starter kit. It has been nothing but great for me. I have not had any problems with it. As long as you take care of them, keep them lubricated, don't let the seals dry out. They also send you an extra head right here, like an extra nozzle, so that's very nice, because as a beginner you're most likely going to pop this out on accident, because it does pop out fairly easily. I've popped it into lots of cups of plastic on accident, so watch out for that if you are getting into bait making. But this injector comes with the starter kit. It's not crazy expensive. It's only 4 ounces, so it is fairly small, but I would definitely recommend it, because as a beginner you're not going to be injecting a ton of plastic at a time. And 6-ounce injectors and dual injectors, you're getting into the $200 and $300 range. So keep it as cheap as you can while also being smart with your money. Next thing you're gonna want is some type of thermometer. This one is just the surface level laser thermometer off of Amazon. No, it's not 100% accurate, so you do have to be careful with that. And you're also only getting the surface temperature. You're not getting the lower, like the actual inner temperature of your plastic. So if the surface temperature is 350, your plastic temperature is not to 350 yet. You need to make it, cook it in the microwave a little bit longer before you start to inject it, because it's not fully up to temperature. Then another thing you're going to want for that injector is some leather gloves or some type of heat resistant gloves, because you are shooting at 350 and that is obviously extremely hot. So get some gloves, don't try and burn yourself. The next things we're going to get into are what I think are some of the best glitters and plastisol colors to get. So let's start out with the colors. A basic one is black. An awesome color to make is black and blue. So get black, because you can darken all your other colors with it, and you can make really awesome colors with this. And it's going to last you a really long time, because you never really use a ton of black at one time. Then green pumpkin. It's one of the best colors that there is. Every bass likes this color. You're not going to go somewhere where they don't sell and bass don't bite green pumpkin lures. So get green pumpkin, it's a standard, as well as watermelon. It's a little bit lighter green than the green pumpkin, and you can do a lot more things with this than you can with the green pumpkin just because it is lighter. You can also make watermelon red or watermelon blue or whatever, watermelon magic, whatever you want to do and come up with, you can make it with this color. Next is June bug, another staple to bait making. You need a June bug, in my opinion. It's a little bit different. These are all darker colors, more green, more natural. This one's purple, so you can use this as a regular purple. You can use it as June bug. Do It Molds has a great soft bait colorant section that you can get these from. These came in the starter pack as well as with chartreuse and motor oil. Those ones, they're really good, but these two right here are my favorites from the starter pack. Now on to glitter. So the bottom line, glitter is awesome, and you're going to use a lot of colors, but you can do so much with so little. So black will add texture to just about anything. It's really not going to look bad in anything. You're going to use it for a lot of things. I use it in my watermelon red. I use it in green pumpkin. I use it in my June bug sometimes. I'll throw it in there. Or if I'm just doing purple with black flake, I'll throw it in there. I get the standard, just 0.04 hex cut. I like the hex cut. You can get string cut and square cut, but I stick with the hex cut because I like the way it looks. Then get a green. It doesn't have to be holographic green. This one's almost more blue, as you guys can see there. This obviously goes with your June bug to make your June bug color. Again, 0.04 hex cut. And one thing that you could add later on is a smaller size green and a smaller size black, just to give it more texture. But to keep it simple, I went with the same size glitter for everything, except for this one here, which came in the Do It Molds starter kit. This is red. It's 0.015, so it's super, super small, as you guys can see there. I believe it is hex cut as well. And this goes with watermelon red. It can go in black, it can go in green pumpkin. It can really go with anything. Red is just a little bit brighter color that really pops and adds good texture and character to everything that you're going to be making. Another one that I would 110% recommend is a holographic silver flake. As you guys can see there, it's like 10 different colors in one. You add this to anything, it's going to look good. You can't really go wrong with it. Then blue, because you can make black and blue. One of the most popular colors in fishing is black and blue. Then to throw in something a little spicy, I would go with gold. That's only my perspective on it. That's my opinion. If you guys want to go with something different, you can. This is just the one that I was like, why not just throw it in here? You guys have a choice to go with something a little bit more flashy. This one you can add to any of these and it will also look fairly good. So now that that is out of the way, that is everything that you will essentially need to make a fishing lure. There are other things like this, which I'm going to show you guys, is a vacuum chamber. So this will help you guys get no bubbles in your baits. It gets the bubbles out. Now these are $150, $130 on Amazon, so they can be a little bit pricey, but they will definitely improve the quality of your baits. Now if you're just making these for fun and you're making them for yourself, I wouldn't really say that you need them. But if you do, vacuum chamber is a great option from Amazon. Little things you might need, like this, scissors to cut remelts, whatever you want to do there, and then also a towel. As you can see, mine gets used a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are looking into getting bait making, sorry it is a little bit longer. There are a lot of things that you need. Keep in mind, this is not the most basic version. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless.